Alright, it's 9:34 a.m. I'm also watching a webinar. It kind of threw me off because, I mean, it's a good thing because, I mean, all the stocks that they're watching, I'm also watching. It looks like LTNC is having a drop too. I just got out of a trade, a profitable trade with DRNK. I didn't like how long it took for me to get into stock, so I sold a bit early just because I didn't want to have a issue trying to get out of the trade if it's not working. I might have missed this one. This might be a fake. We have some nice people on the bid. I feel like I'm chasing the bids. I could probably still take a buy at 69. I think this one could do a nice move on the upside. We have this I don't think it counts, but some people call it like a hanging man. I don't think this is exactly that. I don't like how there's more people on the ask now. We do have a big bidder. I do like that big bidder, but I probably missed this one right here. That was actually pretty impressive. I could have been in this trade. DRNK, again, I sold. I just didn't like the price. Well, price action was good. We did have like a wall of people on the ask, but it wasn't that bad. I just sold immediately at 56 because I didn't like how long it took for me to get in the trade, so I just had that same mentality that if it took that long for me to get in, it'll take that long for me to get out. Looks like DRNK is going to have a potential follow-up drop. LTNC, pretty impressive. Could have been in at 569. It's still going. This is a choppy mess, LTNC. I mean, it looks very clean today, but I would be cautious. I would even be considering selling now, even though it's a bit of a scalp, just because we're not getting big green candles, and because we're not getting big green candles, it shows that this thing could reverse. Although we do have what I've never seen in like the past 2 weeks. There are some very impressive big bidders on the bid. So we'll see. The volume is fading, which could be a good thing. I've learned that. It's not necessarily bad. DRNK, is this max panic? I don't know. Could be. Still have a wall of sellers. I'm not listening to the webinar. I don't know what they're talking about now, but they were all looking at the same stocks I was looking at. Nobody mentioned LTNC, KYNC, but the other ones they were. And it looks like KYNC is also starting. It looks like this one had a bit of a dip and spike too. That's impressive. KYNC is a potential slow number 5 setup. DRNK continues to drop. Maybe some of the people who bought in the webinar, because I'm pretty sure one of them bought, is stuck. Who knows? Probably not. Big seller right there at 47. We still have a lot of people on the ask. It could try to hold. Let's look at a multi-day chart. We'll have support at 40. Yeah, 40, or if you want to count the dip, 42 potential. Of course, it could hold anywhere. We have massive people on the bid. Might be a bit too slow for this one. Yeah, too slow. I probably should have just bought even with a high limit price. We have a small wall at 48. It's gonna get taken out, I think. This one's impressive. I missed this second one, although we do have a lot of people on the ask. We also have some on the bid too, so it's being taken out 48. That's impressive. We do have some dumping on the bid. Is this going to be like a fake out bounce? Let's find out. A lot of people at 48. RGBP had a nice spike. This could be a nice dip, even though I don't really like buying random dip buys. If it's that strong, it could keep going. Still a wall at 48. People are jumping in at 47. The original breakout level is 20. Maybe if it dips to 20, that would be kind of excessive, but maybe a confirmed breakout setup, it would be under VWAP too. It's just going to be a wash. I'm not too sure on how to trade stocks that are only up to, on the second day as nicely. It could keep going, sure, but I've been burned. Dip buying stocks up on the first green day. The DRNK still has a lot of people on the ask. Could be hidden size in the bid, but it doesn't really seem like it. We'll see if it puts up like a higher low. Why not? Could definitely hold, but I mean, we got that wall of sellers. Let's see if it breaks 46. Yeah, I'd say 42, 40-ish, a level of support. Hasn't really gotten there. Looks like it might try to now. Just a lot of people on the ask. I wonder what they're saying about DRNK right now, just to get some kind of an idea. But I don't want them to influence my trading. It's kind of felt weird because they're talking about stocks I'm interested in buying and selling. So I just turned it off. I'm like, I'm not trying to listen to somebody else tell me what they're thinking. We got a big bidder at 43. That's 5 characters. That might not be so bad. Alright, thank you very much. We also have one on the it's got 45. This could like make a double bottom, a very tiny minuscule double bottom from this wick right here. It could also not. 44 might crack here. Lots of 43. Alright. This is a level 2 battle. 43 might get taken out. That's impressive if it makes a new low. Can't believe I actually made money on the stutter step there. Again, I sold very quickly, even though it seems like everything was going well. I just wanted to be safe and sell a bit early because I've been wrecked trying to sell on a downtrend yesterday. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't ideal either. I sold at 56. That was actually the highs. And I did miss KYNC, I believe. Which one was it that I missed? I forgot which one I missed. It's probably LTNC. Yeah, I missed LTNC. This one was nice. Alright, we're at 41. 40 was a good level of support. 41, 40, so why did that happen? Could be a potential hold here. I missed my entry. I tried to buy here, I just missed my entry. We have a big person on the ask, but this can definitely hold because 40, if you go to this chart with support here, kind of support here, not really support. Ideally, I'm in at 43. I don't like the big seller on the ask though, but would ideally be already in at 43. I just missed my entry. I just didn't get executed. Maybe it's the broker, maybe it's the stock, the market makers. It doesn't matter. I don't want to chase either at 45. I missed LTNC. I missed this second. This might be the actual bounce here at DRNK with 40 as a level of support. But I did get this stutter step and I actually made a profit on it. I bought at, it was a part, not pretty much a full position, but I bought at 53 and I sold at 56. Literally the best case, unless you want to count that wick here at 50. Oh, I guess I could have gone at 50. No, not really. Yeah, getting at 52 wouldn't let me get at 53. That was pretty much best case. That was actually a pretty good execution. A bit slow getting in the stock, but getting out was very fast, probably because I was still selling while it was doing great. And I'm not using limits to sell because Schwab just has a very slow time processing limit orders. I've been in that situation where I have a limit order and it just sits there for 10 seconds. I cancel it, put a immediate sell order with market, it just sells instantly at a good price too. It's not like, you know, 45 or 46 and the market sell gets executed at 40 or something. This is very choppy. Just a lot of people on the ask. This thing could definitely bounce and get back to the 50s or something, but it's struggling a lot, and I don't like that. It's struggling. This could be like another LTNC where it just struggles a lot. RGBP keeps going. That's impressive. What the heck did I just do? Alright, that never happened. KYNC just doesn't have the volume. If I had to guess, it's gonna go up. It's gonna uptrend, but it's gonna take a very, 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 very long time. If it gets closer and puts up a double bottom at 43, maybe I'll consider it for a slow number 5 setup. But for right now, I'm going to call off the recording. I'm going to listen to the webinar and yeah, I'll make an update later. Okay, 9:49 a.m. I considered DRNK for a slow number 5. I just missed my execution. I didn't place an order. I actually dropped my position size from a $500 position to 230 because it matters. Just because I would have wanted to have risked it off of 44. So when I have to risk, if I have to, in my mind at least right now, if I play off a price action, if I cut losses quickly, so if I cut losses quickly, I'm going to trade a larger position size. But if I try to cut losses intelligently based off of a price level, I'm going to trade smaller. Just because I just feel like that's best for me. Sometimes when I cut losses intelligently, I just always have to cut the loss intelligently. So that was the idea here. This thing could just uptrend and make a slow number 5. It could totally happen. LTNC is not doing much. I wouldn't consider this for a slow number 5 because I would have liked it to have been closer to the day low, and that's not the case here. KYNC, illiquid, INVU, illiquid, RGBP, pretty impressive. It just had one stutter step. Wouldn't have considered it buying this stock unless it dropped at the previous day high and held support, but that's not the case. DRNK is at 49. I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna do it. Again, I missed this. I missed LTNC. And I missed this slow number 5 ideal setup. Just a nice wall of bidders. So this is nice. It's refreshing to see that, you know, these setups worked, or at least my execution wasn't bad. I can't get too upset for missing the second one because I tried. It just didn't get executed. maybe a little worse on the third one because I didn't even place an order. But it wasn't that bad because I was changing my position size to something smaller just because, you know, if I'm going to risk it off a certain level, I'm going to trade less. I'm up just 21 bucks. It was a 4% win. It just was looking nice. It was showing some signs of it, you know, being stuffed, but I just sold immediately because, you know, again, it took so long to get in the trade. I just didn't want that same problem getting out like it happened yesterday. So yeah, it's just gonna be a wash. I would be selling some right here if I were to have bought at what, 46? Yeah, because it's at the VWAP level, but we still have a tremendous wall of people. I haven't seen this in a long time. Just a nice classic big wall of bidders pushing the price up. Although we do have some big people on the ask, it's just stronger on the bid. I haven't seen this price action in a long time. I'm used to just seeing a ridiculous amount of people on the ask and it being slowly pushed away with big blocks of buying action. So it looks like it's starting to struggle here a little just because it's at that VWAP level perhaps. I would have sold some already, but it can keep going eventually. Alright, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to look at now like the largest percent gainers and stuff like that. So until then, I'll just be looking. Okay, it's 10:01 a.m. I am considering DRNK just for like a cup and handle, but maybe not because there is a lot of people on the ask. It reminds me a little, it's not as perfect, but it reminds me of LTNC. You can see here the cup and handle right here. Nice cup and handle right there. It's not really as perfect, so because we don't really have that nice dip. You could say, oh, technically this is a dip. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think so. Nothing else that I'm really interested in. Maybe I could have considered a dip buy here, slow number 5, I mean, but I missed it. I was too busy looking at DRNK. RGBP did do a confirmed breakout. I didn't notice the pattern at the time, or I just wasn't there when it happened. One of those two. But here's the breakout over 25. Here's the high, drops, breaks past it, drops again at 25, and then 25 to 27. So roughly a 10% move max, at least as of now. Let's see if DRNK does that cup and handle. It seems possible, but there have been a lot of people on the ask. It looks like we're trying to fight with it right now. We do have a 7,000 bidder here, but we have like an 18 right there. 50 is definitely going to be a level of resistance, but it could totally break past it. I just wish they had a better dip for a cup and handle. This one might even make one, but I'd be less interested in it. I would have bought here, risking it off of the day low. So that's the mindset I'm in right now. It's just a continued look. No true setups right now. Okay, it's 10:19 a.m. Just want to make a quick update. DRNK, I would have considered this for a slow number 5. It's looking nicer as it keeps fading, but I'm not going to do it because it only shows that it can run for like 1 or 2 days. If this was like LTNC, very nice. If it was like AABB, or just like any other kind of runner that can show that it can run for at least a few days, right? I would have considered it, because then I'd say, alright, well maybe the pumpers, it could still work out, by the way. It's just lower risk. I mean, not lower risk, higher risk. It could still come back up, but you know, the promoters might just be like, hey, you know, we did our pump, we did our dump, that's it. If it was like a LTNC, AABB where it can hold off for a few days, maybe they're like, alright, it's dropping, let's push it back up. We don't want this to end already. We still have some more things to do. I don't think that's the case here with DRNK. Of course, it could still happen. I just, you know, based on what it's done before, it doesn't really show that, so I don't want to trade for that reason. INVU did do, I guess, a confirmed breakout, but the volume is trash, so that's fine. KYNC is also the same. I even thought about it for being like that VWAP triangle setup, but if the volume isn't there, it's not gonna do it very nicely. LTNC looks dead. RGBP having a random dip, but I wouldn't have considered it. Pretty nice. I could have considered, like I said, I could have bought here. Just didn't place an order here, and then I missed DRNK here at 43 trying to get my order executed. It just didn't happen. I guess I should have had a higher limit or something. Who knows? Maybe it's the broker, the market maker, doesn't matter. I missed it. And yeah, and then I missed that other one. Then there was that one more that I missed. I forgot which trade. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the mindset that I'm at right now. I don't see any good setups. I'll make an update later. Okay, it's 11 a.m. I just got out of the trade. It's just this was an attempt at the what I call the VWAP triangle. It's just a new setup. This time I tried a trade actually with a small position. You can see it worked here. We had a dip pretty low from the VWAP, and then a spike, and then a dip slightly below it, and then we had this dip that was kind of right at the level, had this nice spike. I think it continued the run here with INVU. LTNC was also the case. It just had a drop and then a smaller drop, and then this one was a very tiny drop off the VWAP triangle. So this was the idea. There was just too many people dumping on the bid, so I got out. Could have risked it off of 24, but do I really want to risk 24? It cracks 24 and I get a lot of slippage or something like that. Not really, dude. I sold at, I bought at 248 at 1050 right here. So right here, it could have rounded off of these three big candles and that could have been impressive, but instead we had this choppiness and just a lot of people dumping their shares on the bid. This thing can work out eventually, but I just lost my patience. I will make an update to see if it works out or not. It was just a small tiny $4 loss just because it wasn't going the way I wanted. Really could have risked it off of 24, and this is the case where it probably is going to work out. I just got out too early because I'm sure there's a very good chance that it can hold itself off and continue it. Well, I don't want to double dip, go again at the trade here. I'm just going to let it play out. It just feels like it's taking way too long. It makes sense though, because look how sharp this drop is, look how much wider this one is, but this is just too much. There's just too many people dumping their shares on the bid, but we'll see. It looks like it's going to try now. Volume faded too, so it's probably not as ideal as the other ones were. Volume was also kind of weak on these. Volume here wasn't bad. It was consistent. It's just way too much people dumping their shares on the bid. It just kind of got me tired of it. I held for 10 minutes, so I am doing better holding stocks. I think that's good. I am starting to be less scared. Again, just traded a small position because it didn't work out. It was a 2% loss, which is fine. Looks like it actually cracked 24 there for a moment, or did we just barely get there? Again, there was just too many people dumping their shares on the bid, so I got tired of it really. I guess in theory could have gotten an execution as high as 47, but that's fine. So yeah, this VWAP triangle setup, whatever you want to call it, this one in this case failed, and I think it failed because it was just too many people dumping their shares on the bid. And let's look. I guess these were also better, the VWAP triangle, because they were up many more days perhaps. Let's look at LTNC. That might be the case. Maybe the VWAP triangle only works after the stock is up at least 3 days. This one is only up 2 days. That might be the case too. I didn't want to risk off 24 even if it would have bounced, because I don't want to get my stop executed and then I get caught. You know, I sell my position at 22 and that's just really bad. So you know, it was a good attempt. Very small position again because I'm just practicing, testing this setup to see how it is. It didn't work out here, but that's totally fine. And yeah, I mean, that's all you can do is just try. I'm gonna call off the recording here. It's 11:04. LTNC, nothing I want to trade. KYNC, looks like it broke this level. Liquid though. INVU, not doing anything that I want. Yeah, DRNK never did that cup and handle here. Again, I just think that it's only been up 2 days. It's not known to run for several days. Had this have been up 8 days in a row, that would have been more impressive. It would have been more likely, I think, to work. So not the case there. LTNC. Could have done a slow number 5, but I missed my entry here. I wasn't there when this price action was happening, and I would have sold at some point into here. So yeah, RGBP is at 23. VWAP triangle didn't work out. I think for this setup to work, it has to be up a bunch of days in a row, but it's just gonna be continued, I guess, experimenting to see how exactly this trade is. Alright, 11:31 a.m. I just saw in the chat room that Tim was interested in INND and he got faked out in the stutter step, right? But I saw this thing down. It looks nice. I went ahead and took a buy and sell. I immediately got out. Just a small $4 loss. Just didn't work out the way I wanted it. I bought at 47.5 at what time was this? 29. Right here. Could have done better with my entry. I definitely could have done better. And then I sold at 72 the next candle because I didn't like the price action. There was a huge wall at 47.9, humongous wall, lots of buying, but it just didn't break through. So I got out and we dropped again. I'll still be watching this for number 5 though. Alright, 11:32, just a quick update. This could work out. I could continue spiking here, but if it does, it's a hard fight because there have been a lot of people on the ask with lots of hidden size dumping on the bid too. But it could totally continue an uptrend here. At this point, I'll be interested in INND only if it makes a double bottom, not a double bottom, a higher low off of this range right here. So if this guy were to drop again to maybe 46 and hold some kind of a higher low from here, I'll be interested. Otherwise, I'll miss it if it continues to spike, which is fine. That's just the state that I'm in right now because there is a lot of people on the ask, a lot of dumping too, so I don't like the price action. Again, if it makes a higher low, I might consider it. Alright, 11:38. Yeah, I missed it. Unfortunately, I missed it. So I bought, let's go over again. By the way, very tiny loss. Charles Schwab, the execution here was absolutely great. Just a tiny 0.63% loss, trading a $400, almost $500 position. I even consider just a small position, a small buy because it's a bit of a chase, but I'm not gonna do it. I bought at 11:29, green candle, and the price was 475. I could have done better with my entry. I kind of took a little too long to get in. I could have done much better with my entry, and then I sold because we had that humongous wall at 79, and then when we got back to 79, it just broke through it like warm butter. So somebody was dumping a lot of shares, or stuck at the ask, or shorting a lot, but they probably got squeezed, or maybe they're still holding, who knows, but maybe they were a seller, doesn't matter. Eventually it did it. It fought a long fight, but it did it. I might consider this for a higher low setup. Like I mentioned before, it's not really the same because it kind of spiked a bunch if you ask me, but I will be considering a higher low. It just it just faked me out again. I sold at 11:30. Literally the next candle was like the bottoming candle, but you don't know that. It could have continued the drop. Look at all these fake stutter steps. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? So it could have kept going down. Let's see if there was major support. There was at 43. It could have even dropped more to 43, so that was a risk too. One thing I didn't take into consideration was the volume. When I bought in this candle, it was still max volume. So had I maybe considered it maybe here when it started to show less volume, sure, I didn't get 45, 46, but I'm here at 47, but the volume is fading. That could have been nice too, but we'll see how this one does. Maybe I'll consider it for a double bottom, maybe not. I'll probably trade a smaller position size because it's not as ideal as the initial number 5 setup, but it can continue. It's just going to be a watch. I might consider a trade, maybe not. It all depends. Alright, it's 11:44 a.m. INND has a lot of sellers on the ask for it to double bottom. Well, not double bottom, for it to have been a higher low here. I don't think there should have been so much dumping on the bid, so many sellers on the ask, so it kind of led to this red candle. We might make a new day low. That would be impressive. If this thing has like a true panic, you know, maybe 1 to 29, that would be cool, but I think that's too much. We'll see if this guy double bottoms here. I don't want to trade a double bottom. It's probably going to work because I don't want to trade it, but eventually that's just going to snap out of that bad luck streak or whatever you want to call it. And even though I missed because of that stutter step there with INND, I'm glad that the executions were very quick. With Charles Schwab, both the buy and the sell, excuse me. It looks like it's going to hold here for now. I did not want to consider a double bottom there. Still a lot of people on the ask. We have a 1 million share seller there on the ask. They're going to have to buy through that wall of 46 if they want to see an uptrend here. Looks like we're getting more dumping. Let's see if this cracks it here. 45 has some support. Could have been that stutter step too. Another stutter step, who knows? But we do have a lot of people on the ask. I've seen this before. We have a big wall of buyers, but we have a lot of dumping on that bid. There we go. We have a crack. Let's see how this goes. Somebody's going to have their stop loss taken out. We're at 44. Maybe this will make an inverse head and shoulders. Look at that. This could be like just a massive, the whole thing here, a massive stutter step for the ultimate number 5. Take note of the time though, it's not perfect, so I will consider that. We might hit that 43 level. What was that? No, we have support at 40 or 4, whatever you want to call it. Support at 4 potentially if it gets down there. It might not. Still have a big seller on the ask. Somebody took it out. Probably gonna miss this one. I probably won't trade it. Still have a lot of people on the ask. If it does it, it's gonna do it just like here. It's just a big hard fight and eventually gives out. We have a nice bidder there. I'm being very hesitant. It could be a problem here. I'm hesitating on potentially buying it. I just don't like the amount of people on the ask and the bad price action, but it could totally turn around here at 44. It looks promising, but then we have these big dumps on the bid. I don't mind missing this one. It's just not as clean. It's a lot of sellers on the ask. Let's see how it does. We have a small green candle. This is probably when I would be buying the small green candle, but there's a lot of people on the ask. It's a drinking game. How many times do I say a lot of people on the ask? Yeah, I'm not gonna trade it. I'll just watch it. I'll see how it does later. I'm not trying to get stuck in another stutter step. Even if it works, it's a long and hard battle because there is a lot of people on the ask. We do have a nice bidder now, but people are just gonna start dumping on it, I think. Volume, how's the volume? Let me see. Volume is fading, so maybe this is the official bounce. Because the volume is fading. That's something I've learned, to watch for fading volume. It is looking better now, but I'm still scared. I'm probably still hesitant on buying. And there's gonna be resistance probably at 46. Alright, in theory I bought right here, but who knows? Maybe I didn't get executed like that other trade. Maybe I did. Maybe it turns around. But we do have fading volume. This thing could be spiking right now. I don't mind missing this right here. As long as we keep seeing the volume fading because there's less people selling. Could be a potential uptrend from here, but we do have resistance at 46. I might have even wussed out right now and just sold because I'm not trying to be in these choppy uptrends. I'll make an update later just to see what it's going to do. I'm not even going to look at this chart. I'm just going to lay down. Just take a small mental break. Why not? Because I'm not trying to look through this chop, but I will see how it does later. It's 12 p.m. I think I'm going to close that off. INND is just ugly. Look at this ugly drop and then it reversed. That is disgusting. If they keep doing stuff like that, the promoters, if they are in control of this, they're just gonna scare dip buyers away from ever wanting to trade these. And then who's gonna dip buy your crap as it falls like that? If you don't make it nice and easy, you're gonna have less people buying, and then you're gonna have a harder time trying to hold the stock up. That's on you if you want to be Mr. Ugly Pants. DRNK never did much. Again, doesn't show that it can spike for more than a few days, so I didn't consider a slow number 5. INND, I don't want to trade it, man. That shit's ugly. IMVU, just a liquid, no good volume. I don't like the price action. This one could do a slow number 5, but I'd rather not because it's just ugly. Not as ugly as INND, but it's just a liquid. And KYNC, not looking too nice. LTNC is fading away. Looks like it might try to crack this level. It's right at the wick. RGBP, inverse head and shoulders. I noticed this later. Didn't spike too much, but it was inverse head and shoulders. INND could be an inverse head and shoulders too, but I'm not going to trade this ugly upside down looking Pikachu thing. So I'm going to call it off. I think I'm still up like 13, 14 bucks on the day, which is not my intention. Of course, I'm trading small position sizes. I did miss LTNC here. I did miss INND in the official spike here. I wasn't going to really trade this one. I was more hesitant. RGBP, I did try that V-block triangle, didn't work here. And I know I missed one more stock, some other setup, I forgot. I'm not sure, but hey, I think overall pretty well, lots of progress made. I look forward to rewatching this, gonna call it off. INND is just ugly. again, if they keep doing shit like this, they're gonna scare the dip buyers away, and then when your stock panics, nobody's gonna help you. Of course, if you don't care, that's fine too. But yeah, just gonna call it off. Overall, good trading day. It's a Friday, so I'll have 2 days to study, even more, the whole day, I think, if I can take it. I think the mind is like a muscle, and you just exercise it a lot, you wear it out, and then you have to give it some kind of a break, and then it gets stronger. So I've been starting to study more every day. I would average like 2 hours. Now I'm averaging 3 hours. Sometimes I do up to 4 hours and a half, but yeah, I have to keep going. Let's see if INND does the inverse head and shoulders. Well, I won't make any more recordings, but I'm just gonna guess and say it looked ugly. So we're gonna call it off right here. Just an overall good trading day. Lots of lessons learned.